Last week, we shone our light on the National Commission for Nomadic Education, NCNE, and its tireless efforts in ensuring that no child is left behind in Nigeria's educational journey. The Commission recognizes the inherent value and potential within every child, regardless of background, with a mission to create an inclusive educational ecosystem that nurtures their talents and equips them with skills needed for a brighter future. Today, we bring you more on this commission and how it has sought to improve human capacity development with its different skills empowerment programs. Professor Bashir Haruna Usman, the executive secretary of this commission, takes us through the different extension education and skills development program and how it has impacted its clientele. I am Victor Emmanuel. Through strategic partnerships and collaborations with various stakeholders and organizations, the Commission has been able to develop specialized curriculum and provide teacher training programs that cater specifically to the needs of its clientele. This approach ensures that education is not only accessible, but also relevant to their cultural realities. Okay, still on the report on the National Commission for Nomadic Education. Today we are with the Executive Secretary in the person of Professor Bashir Usman. It's nice to have you again on the program.
Thank you. I like the way you put the again. Thank you.
All right, so let's look at skills development. How has the Commission Skills Development Program contribute to the empowerment of nomads that's beyond formal education?
Thank you very much for this question. Earlier on, I demarcated the nomadic population, particularly the youth and the pupils, into two groups. And I said the pupils are supposed to take basic education from us. And then the youth, I even gave them like an age range, saying that probably from 15 up to 25, they are the youth. And there is a need for them to be trained in skills. But then we decided that even the skills that we are going to train them on are going to be within the value chain of the livestock industry. That is to say, we train them on raising dairy and beef cattle, on husbandry, on small ruminants like goat and sheep. And we train them on finishing the products that are the byproducts of the slaughterhouse, like the cattle, for example, hide and skin, the hoof, is it omo, you say, and how to, like, say, dry it up and then export it to other states in the country, and how to preserve it, if you want to say. And we also go out of our way to train them on how to develop good grasses for their cattle, because that one also requires training, because that is like crop husbandry again. We also go out of our way to train them on the fisheries, honey beekeeping, and so many other trades, such as for the ladies, we try for the milkmaids, we try as much as possible to show them how to boil their fresh milk without actually losing certain quantities. You know, so for example, if you boil milk, you find out that a little bit of it or part of it will be burnt from the bottom where the heat is highest. So there's a methodology that you can teach them how to boil up to boiling point, to boil their milk before they take it out, without really getting it to stick to the pots that they are using. That's a technique that we use to train them. We also train them in hair making, plaiting hair, barbing, how to repair motorcycles, how to repair GSM, because of their peculiarity. One of them or two of them would be able to look at your GSM and be able to repair it. So quite a number of trades that we train them on. So this is what we do with the youth in order to curtail their restiveness, their lack of what to do, particularly if their cattle are rustle, and so many other vices that bring them to to the fore, where they can no longer herd cattle, or they do not even have the cattle to herd. So these are some of the skills that we teach them for their livelihoods. And that is one of the other aims of the Nomadic Education program, is to teach them some skills for their livelihood in order to contribute to the socio-economic development of the country.
Okay, before we delve into it, I think it's very important to inform the audience about the program itself. And as you're aware, a lot of people have spoken about the genesis of the program, why the program, the mandate of the program, and what they do. Now, in the area of provision of extension, education, and skills development, the department is a child of necessity. What we do in the commission is we try to do a demand-led or demand-driven interventions. So one of our strategies in the implementation of nomadic education is to have strategic engagement with the communities that we are dealing with, the three target groups. And since inception in 1989, the community leaders, the women leaders, the state directors of nomadic education, and other critical stakeholders have been yearning for the expansion of the mandate of the program to include critical areas that have a direct bearing to improve on the enrollment, retention, and progression of children, which is our key mandate. And one of the critical areas is in the area of, dissemination of information and communication support to boost the morale of the youths, the parents, and stakeholders in support of nomadic education. So looking at that, the board and the management felt the need to have a separate department to take care of the extension, education, and skills acquisition of the new youths. And looking at the current realities in the country now, youths constitute about 30% of the Nigerian population. And out of that 30%, not less than 15% of the 30% are nomads, pastoralists, migrant farmers, and migrant fisherfolk. Now, if you don't give those youths opportunity to get gainful employment and gainful vocational and technical skills to change their lives and productive activities, they take up to other social vitals and become a problem to the generality of the Nigerian society.
So I would love you to take us through some of the partnerships between the Commission and some relevant organizations and how it has affected individuals involved.
Thank you very much. Since the beginning of the commission, we felt that government alone cannot do this in terms of funding and probably trying to change the statistics. That is to say, we started with certain percentage of literacy. You remember I told you about 0.29% were literate when the program was established, and by today, which is around 2022, now that we are in 2023, by today we have about 19%. If you remember statistics from the Federal Ministry of Education, the level of literacy among the nomadic population in the country. Government alone could not do this. We had to partner with non-governmental organizations, international development partners, and we have partnered with quite a number of organizations. For example, African Development Bank. African Development Bank were very generous to establish 2 skill acquisition centers for us, one in Laduga Grazing Reserve and one just about 26 kilometers outside Kaduna. We have a very good skill acquisition center where we teach various skills to our clientele. Recently, we are partnering with a program called At-Risk Children Program. That one is anchored then by the Office of the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It's an NGO that also works on children that are at risk. And we felt that partnering with them will also boost our own clientele, whether we like it or not, are also at risk. So we just put our group, we put ourselves in that group. Recently, we also are partnering with the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs. Is it disaster management and social development? We are partnering with them. They're assisting us in developing the skills that what we did was to develop a manual for these skills that we are teaching based on the youth that I've told you earlier. And the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs decided that, okay, look, since you have developed the manual, we will take it with you, critique it, and then publish it for you, and print it for you so that you can distribute, and it will be like a DIY thing. Do it yourself. By the time you give the manual to the clientele, they will be able to go and mimic what is in the manual with a few mistakes here and there, and they can have one or two people to ask, and then they will be able to do that. We are also partnering with School on Wheels. They call themselves School on Wheels for out-of-school children. They have two subjects that they are teaching in local languages, English and maths, and they do that by animations using ICT. They have buses that they go to the localities. They call the children into a bus, teach them a few things using the interactive boards, for example, and using animations just to improve on their English and maths. But the good beauty about the whole thing is they're also using local languages, with Hausa, Fulfulde, Kanuri, Ibibio, Yoruba, Igbo, and all other Nigerian languages. Wherever they find themselves, they translate into that language, and then they will be able to grab those children and teach them. The other groups that we are working with are NGOs like PARE, CORET, PARE is Pastoral Reserve, and MAGBAN. MAGBAN is Mete Allah Associations. We are partnering with them. We have been doing quite a number of things with them because the clientele, major part of the clientele are from their own group. We also are partnering with groups that were formed based on the threat that is there, whether it is a fishing group or a herding group or a migrant farmers group. So they form groups, they form associations, and they come to us, and then we decide let's enter into an MOU. And by the time we make the MOU, we find that there are things that we need to do for them, and there are things that they can also assist us. For example, I'll give you a simple example. We go to a migrant farmer group, farmers that migrate from one point to the other. So we say, okay, last year you are in so place, this year you are in so place. We establish a school for you in so place, and we are going to establish a school for you. Would you be kind enough to form an association to manage this school? Like the school-based management committee. So, okay, if you manage it, even if you migrate, that you hand it over to another group that will also manage. So we partner in that way, so that we don't work in vacuum. They say, okay, we have given you a school. If you are moving, you just leave it to rot away. No, we try as much as possible to talk to them, try to make them understand. We drill boreholes for them as they are moving also. So some of the boreholes, you find that grasses have grown in between, but they are still functional because we are waiting for them to come back for the next season or the next 2 seasons, and they can still use those boreholes. So by and large, this is the type of collaborations that we have. I think before I came to the commission, we were partnering with, Korea, the Korean Republic government, and then the Japanese government, and JICA and KOICA programs. So we have been collaborating with quite a number of international development partners as well as non-governmental organizations.
We collaborate on data collection and analysis of what goes on. so that we could properly plan for the delivery of basic education in Nigeria. We collaborate on areas of intervention that would involve also construction of schools, development of programs, and a lot of other activities that we have been engaged in over the years. I think it's a relationship that has to, that we hope will grow stronger and stronger to, provide our children, with the education that they require at this particular stage, and to make sure that this education is functional and can support whatever ambitions they have in future life.
The National Commission for Nomadic Education was an organization that was purely established for the education of the Nigerian pastoralists who are not sedentary, who are moving from place to place. When it came on board, we are automatic members of that organization. We entered into an MOU with them, and not only that, we have a desk officer today at the National Nomadic Education Office. Right from inception up to today, we have a desk officer of Magban who is there working with the Nomadic Education Commission. So, and today we have a lot of engineers, doctors, and whatever in the education field you find from the products of that nomadic education. For the last 8 years, I have my assistant secretary when I was the secretary of Magban. My assistant secretary is an architect. He's a product of Nomadic Education School. Today, he's still an architect working with the federal government of Nigeria.
In the course of our work, we have found a very reliable partner in the National Commission for Nomadic Education, which is a commission that deals with the issues of nomadic children, pastoralist children, migrant fisherfolks, and migrant farmers. And it is the same target group that we are working with. So in the course of our work, we have realized that we share a common vision, a common objective of uplifting this marginalized group and ensuring that they are mainstreamed into our national body policy and perform their civic responsibility and also enjoy the benefits that government will target for them. So this is the partnership. So, and we have been working with them, I think, since our inception in 2005 up to date, and we have achieved several goals in the course of our partnership.
Education is a sort of the field, sector that every government want to actually to improve upon, because we believe strongly without education, the progress will be very, very slow. And education is knowledge. People seek knowledge, all over the place, and then get educated. And there are so many programs in education, both at primary, secondary, and tertiary institutions, which we have been supporting. And we believe strongly. I haven't come for even a background. Been blessed by my own mother. She was a teacher throughout her life, so. I was part and parcel of that. I grew up in an educational environment. So, and such programs like even the introduction of nomadic education is part of the government program to ensure that even people in rural areas are reached. Because considering the vastness of the country and the areas and availability of facilities like schools, what have you, are not available. So this outfit was created to reach out into the interior of this country to ensure that those citizens, Nigerians, who will want to have education, either formal or whatever, modern education, also have the privilege of getting educated. So like, all this, name implies nomadic education means that those who are moving and from one place to the other, you don't have permanent abode. Nevertheless, they are interested and they are also entitled to be educated. So the outfit was set up to ensure that these people also enjoy the privileges and advantages in education. And all along, the country has been playing its role, notwithstanding the shortcomings in terms of finances and what have you. They're there, they're reaching out, and policies are very, very good. That's why the policies have been on the ground and they, stay there. Although the impact of that, some outfit is not yet felt as it was intended. But all this one will they are sort of, maybe aligned to further yes, the finance to support this education zone, is not available. And now, even when some people came to us to let us know that there's a system now, or that there's a method, beyond just walking into the rural areas, they can move a whole school, mobile platform, from one station to the other, and teaching people who cannot even afford to move, a mile from your own location to where the schools are. So that program, is in the making, and we're part of that program. We want to support it, So it's a fruition that
we are using in collaboration with the National Commission for Nomadic Education. We are collaborating with them so that we can get the curriculum. After getting the curriculum now, then we can break them into lessons. Those people that are out of school, before you can make them to learn, you have to use their own native language. So we are using a native language, in this case Hausa, in order to teach the children English, mathematics in Hausa. Then later on, we shall teach them also apprenticeship, that is skill acquisition, so that they can get something doing, especially in ICT.
What we try to do is we built mobile schools for these children. Now these mobile schools are equipped with solar power. We have solar power in the mobile schools. We have large screen TVs. We have laptops and all that. Whereby the videos that are generated, so they are played on those screens. Now our mobile schools can go anywhere. We're not waiting for the children to come to a school. We're taking the school to the children where they are. And apart from the buses too, we are working on using camels to reach out to some of these places that we're talking about.
I am the engine room of the commission here in Abuja, because all things that are made possible at the headquarters is as a result of the effort the liaison officer is making to reach out with the mother ministry, that's Federal Ministry of Education, and other agencies, parastatals of the government, like the Office of the Head of Service, Federal Character Commission, Federal Ministry of Agriculture. You can name all the MDAs in Abuja that we partner in order to, forge ahead the nomadic education program across the country.
Through innovative programs, tailored curricula, and community engagement, the National Commission for Nomadic Education is transforming lives and fostering social cohesion and paving the way for a more inclusive and prosperous Nigeria. Follow us on all our social media platforms for more of these updates. Until next week when we return with another top matter, keep it locked right here, same time, same station. I am Victor Emmanuel.